Hello and welcome to episode 61 of my podcast, SUPcast with Neil P. This podcast is called SUPcast and my name is Neil P. Right now I'm whispering because my girlfriend Allie is asleep. It is currently 7:10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this is the ASMR intro to episode 61 of podcast, SUPcast with Neil P. Featuring Reade from the band We Are the Union. And she and I had a discussion about life, and the discussion happened after one of the worst days I've had in quite a while. I recently picked up a gig where I'm cleaning rich people's dog shit. And I think I talked about it last week on the episode. But anyway, I'm going to try to make this intro short because I'm whispering and I don't want to wake the bear. But yeah, I was cleaning up dog shit in the rain, and I think I have tendonitis in my elbow and my right wrist, my dominant hand, the hand that I strum my guitar with. And I think it's from this job, cleaning rich people's dog shit. So I put in my 2 weeks, and my boss is a guy named Ron from the band Downtown Brown. You may have heard of him. And I said, I can't do this. And I got my old job back at the catering company. I'm just working part-time. I'm just trying to supplement my income, trying to survive. But yeah, I had to put in my 2 weeks at the dog poop cleaning job. And then yesterday it was raining and it was like 40 degrees. It went from being like 90 degrees to 40 degrees in the Midwest. And I'm in the rain and all the poo is sticking to the grass. And I'm just thinking to myself, what am I doing? But this is the thing. Ron needs to find a replacement for me. So I put my 2 weeks in, and I can't fuck him over, I started working for the company because he got COVID, and I remember he put online, I have COVID, and he was really worried about, because he runs the company pretty much. Like, it's his thing. He's running that shit. So I'm like, yo, Ron, I'll fill in for you. I have a bad back, but I'll scoop some dog shit. And it ended up being like a part-time job. They put me on the schedule after that. But I can't do it. It's hurting my arm. It's hurting me. This job is hurting me. So I'm going back to the catering company, which I've worked at since 2007. And if you do the math, that's 14 years. And I walked in there and it's wild because a lot of the same people still work there. I've gone on all these crazy adventures, and these human beings have kind of just like watched me be insane and take a lot of risks and from the safety of the catering company. And I got a lot of hugs. It felt nice. These human beings, I feel valued, And I've had a bunch of jobs, but you don't really get a lot of hugs. And we're vaxxed and we're relaxed, so it's okay to hug. I was wearing a mask. Speaking of masks, I went to New York City recently and sang for the band Reagan Youth. We were supposed to do this outdoor gig that got pulled, and then it ended up getting rescheduled to an outdoor gig in Manhattan, like on the street. And then the cops made us push it inside. And that's a whole nother thing. I talked to Reade about it a little bit in this podcast, but I might be rambling. I just woke up a little bit, but I scooped dog shit all day, and then I drove home fast as fuck because Reade said she could only talk at 5 p.m. her time, which is 5, 6, 7, 8 p.m. my time. Either way, we pulled it off, and I feel like I might have been a little out of it and rambling, and we kind of talked over each other at some points, but I think all in all, I listened back to the conversation. There's some nuggets in there, and that's what this podcast is all about. It's about communicating with humans and finding nuggets. And selfishly, because I don't do this necessarily, I'm doing this podcast because it actually is helping with my mental health. So selfishly, it's the best part. Like whether or not I was talking to Mikey Clark last week, and he gave me nuggets about don't be so hard on yourself because the world is going to do that for you. That's the nugget I got from last week. And I got some nuggets this week from Reade, an inspiring human being. And she's killing it right now. And her band is killing it. And she used to live in Michigan. And we did a show, I think, in like 2011. Only one show. And she's always been on my radar. And I've always been very inspired and just like kind of watching from afar, being like, wow, this person's really doing it. And the funniest part about all of it is when she went to LA in 2012, she went there to quit music. And now music is her full-time gig. So it's just funny where life takes you. It's funny the changes we go through as human beings. And Reade from We Are the Union is an inspiring human being. And even though I got to do shit jobs in order to survive, my heart is full as fuck right now because I'm surrounded by people that I really respect and who I think are good humans. And there's just a lot of love. There's a lot of love right now. I can feel it. It's tangible, like in my soul. It just seems like I weeded out, whether or not it was intentionally or whether or not it was just through fate. I think a lot of the trash in my life has just found its way out. And the core group of human beings that are in my existence right now, which includes my mother and my brother and my nephew. And I'm back in Detroit where I have true friends and shows are coming back and I have plans. We're opening for the sexy sax guy from Lost Boys, Tim Capello. I mean, life is a fucking ridiculous ride. And I'm really trying right now to just concentrate on, like this is happening now. And we talk about that on this podcast. We talk about like being present and we talk about being grateful. And the more people I talk to that kind of hold on to those two things, they seem to be having really amazing lives. And though my life did not turn out maybe the way I wanted it to, if I look at it the right way, and especially look at my progress as a human being and as an artist and even my career, if you want to call, driving around in a van and playing shows a career, I'm fucking elated and I feel very blessed and I'm very proud of myself. So regardless of what my bank account says, and regardless of whether or not I have to scoop dog shit or go back to the catering company in order to survive, every musician I know has a side gig or three. A lot of musicians I know don't do just music. They have to do some sort of bullshit to get by. But all in all, like life is fucking good and I'm happy, and happiness is a fleeting thing. It comes and it goes. It's like a roller coaster. Sometimes you're at the top of the hill. Sometimes you're at the bottom of the hill. Ups and downs. But I think if I really am able to stay present and stay grateful, I think this happiness thing could be a constant in my life. And that's exciting because, like I said on this podcast back in December, things were a mess. I was very angry and I felt very trapped and the pandemic was weighing on me and all the bullshit that was going on in the streets and with the political climate. I was just internalizing a lot of it. And man, like just to think what like 4 or 5 months could do to a human being, going from like really not even wanting to be alive to just looking at my life and being like, this is amazing. I got a big old hemorrhoid sticking out of my ass and my body hurts, but my soul is smiling and my heart is full. And there's a little kitty outside the door and she wants to eat. So anyway, without further ado, here's my conversation with Reade from We Are the Union. And let's sup it up. Sup. Thanks for listening. Sup. Oh, and also while I got you, subscribe, comment. If you comment, that actually helps the video. If you comment, it helps the video. And subscribe. And we got a Patreon too if you feel like supporting these creative endeavors. Who knows? Maybe if we build this thing, because it's building. The last podcast did great. It's building. So if you want to support the show on Patreon, patreon.com/Neil P. And the $5 a month tier will get you the podcast early before it's released on YouTube. And you will also be supporting me, a human being trying to do things. So without further ado, this is the ASMR whisper portion of the intro to podcast SUPcast with Neil P, number 61, featuring Reade from We Are the Union. Thanks for being here. Subscribe, share, comment. Let's get into it. Oh, yeah.
You sound great.
La 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 la. Okay, and let me make sure that when I hit this number 2, it goes to your face, my face, your face, my face, your face. We're in business. We're rolling. Holy shit!
Woo!
Yeah, we're rolling. Reade, hello, hi. My name is Neil Patterson, and you want to know? I was thinking today when I was driving around, it's like you and I have played a show together, but I don't know if you and I have actually had a conversation like face to face, like not one that I can remember, because we played a gig in Lansing, Michigan with a band called Hellmouth.
Yes.
And We Are the Union was
Mark.
on that show. And my silly band Downtown Brown got on that gig somehow. And but I don't even know if I remember conversing with you that night. Like I
think we had a quick like, hey, good set. See you next time.
Oh,
like
yeah,
there was
yeah.
definitely a quick interaction, but I don't think there was much in terms of like long hangs or anything like that.
I was a different person back then, and I think that's what we're going to discuss a little bit is the progression of humans and the inevitable change in life, and big changes, small changes, but nonetheless changes. And so recently you came out as trans, and I just want to say, like, first and foremost, I'm extremely proud of you. I've been following you like religiously on social media for a while, and I don't like when you're doing stuff with like Goldfinger and doing stuff with Leftover Crack, and I'm just like, wow, what a cool life. And then it's just like, and I'm like, and then all of a sudden it's like, wow. So do you want to? Can you go into a little bit for me, like what the lead up to all this was? Because I remember reading something on your socials where you said there was only 2 people that knew. Is that correct?
It wasn't quite 2, but it was, at the time of the announcement, you could count the number of people who knew on 2 hands. Okay,
so I think that's what you said.
That's like including my doctors, that's including my therapist, psychologist. Like, I mean, it was literally just like very close people. Like I texted my parents like the day before,
Wow.
Like it was, and part of that is like, I definitely got some blowback from like extended family on that, understandably. But the reality is like, and this is what I told them, like I express myself through my art, and rather than like try and like stammer through a phone call, that I'm not going to make sense on, or like try and write a letter or something, like the thing that makes the most sense for me to do is just to like put out a song and be like, here the fuck I am, and like, so yeah, it was quite literally, certainly less than a dozen people. I think less than 10. It was really just the band, the producer, people who worked on the project. I guess it was more than 10. By the time we actually got to announcement, it was probably more like 15, but still very, very few people.
But your parents weren't included in those 15.
I told them the day before because I felt like I needed to at least clue them in, especially because the song Morbid Obsessions, the first track that we dropped, like there's a couple ways that song could be interpreted. Yeah. One of which is like very like, it could be interpreted as directed at them. And I kind of wanted to give them the heads up, like, that's not the case. Like, that's, I don't want y'all to hear the song tomorrow and be like, does our kid hate us? So I wanted to at least give them the like courtesy heads up of that, of like, hey, I'm doing a thing with my art, and like, this is how I want to express myself. But because I don't want either of you two to worry or be upset. Like, here's the deal.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I follow Jer Scott 2 Network on TikTok religiously. Even before I knew they were involved with We Are the Union, I was seeing Jer's dancing the fuck out of his bedroom or studio or whatever, and
they're all over the place.
Yeah. And they said on TikTok that the entire album is autobiographical. Is that correct?
More or less, yeah. I mean, so the record kind of focuses around 3 themes. The first theme is obviously my gender identity, dealing with dysphoria, dealing with coming out as trans, kind of all of that. Then there's also a thread of songs about, I had a 12-year relationship that ended right around the beginning of the pandemic, a little bit before, a couple months before.
Okay.
And so there's a thread about that on the record as well. And then there's also, there's some songs about my mental health as well. Specifically, we kind of covered the depression and the anxiety on the last record on Self-Care. So there's still mentions of that. But the thing I really wanted to dig into on this record that I haven't discussed before is as somebody with purely self-diagnosed ADHD, my brain is constantly scattered. It's constantly all over the place. And, I kind of had a reckoning of how that affects my life as strongly as my anxiety and my depression. And so I was like, why am I not writing about that? I've addressed, the big sads and the big scareds, but I haven't addressed the scatterbrained motherfucker who can't keep her shit straight. And how that lets down the people around me and how that causes me to exacerbates my other mental health as well. And so I was excited to dive into that. So those are kind of the main 3 threads. It's the relationship ending, it's my gender identity, and then it's the ADHD.
Okay. So specifically in Morbid Obsessions, that's the title track. That's the first single. And
it's actually the part 1 to the title track. The title track is Ordinary Life, but yes.
Ah, okay. Oh, it's called Ordinary Life. I'm so sorry. I apologize.
Yeah, you're good.
Like I said, I've been so my day job right now that I'm actually quitting is I'm scooping rich people's dog shit. So.
Oh yeah. That's a fun one.
Yeah. So I was up at 4:30 in the morning. My brain's a little sketched, so I apologize. But
we're all good. You're all good.
I got poop on me today. So anyway, let's
good. That's what you want.
Back to the autobiographical thing though. I was wondering because when I was listening to the lyrics of Morbid Obsessions. There's a character who is she, and now I'm wondering, is that she you in the song?
Yes, 100%. And there's actually a story behind that too, which relates to the other song we were just talking about, so Ordinary Life.
Yes.
I actually started writing Ordinary Life before I realized it was about me.
Oh, wow.
Which is a wild series of emotions to go through. And that song was actually on Ska Against Racism. And we released it as a single previously, but we never uploaded it to streaming because before we even finished the song in the first place, I very quickly realized that was actually, a part 1 to, another song. And, or a part 2 rather. So then what I ended up doing was kind of writing the introduction to that song, which is essentially what Morbid Obsessions is.
Isn't that lovely when things kind of organically fall together like that,
Yeah.
This microphone's covering my face. Okay.
Yeah.
People must see my mouth. I don't know. Should they? I don't know what's going on here. Okay, but is there any way? Because I want to know if you could go through some of the actual lyrics of Morbid Obsessions and kind of explain because there's a lot to unpack there, and I after listening to it essentially all day. And by the way, it's a fucking bop, and it's so it's so bouncy, and the overall you're only alive once. Do whatever the fuck you want. I mean, that's such a powerful sentiment. But some of the storytelling elements in it, can you go through some of that? Because my brain, I'm kind of slow sometimes. I just want to understand.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
of course.
Please, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, the song basically is just kind of it's pulling moments out of my teenage self-destructive years. And it's literally just pulling actual life experiences. Everything in that song is real. Everything in that song happened to me. Mm-hmm. The only exception being the metaphorical shit is when you get into the you know, the like, son, you better settle down kind of stuff. That was, that stuff wasn't like, those weren't words that were said directly to me, but all of those things that happened in the verses of that song, being a complete and total mess at 17. I mean, that's true. I was an absolute mess. I didn't know why at the time, but I was a mess of a human being. I was rarely sober. I was smoking like a pack and a half a day of cigarettes. I constantly fucked up in one way or another. Usually it was weed. Usually I was just really stoned. But I was just miserable. I was completely miserable. I was a walking train wreck. And I went from being a 4.0 student to literally almost not graduating. I mean, I had to make up a half a credit at a community college to graduate from high school. Like that was the trajectory. So that's like, that really is, it really is a direct reference to my actual trajectory of my life. It is really at that age, I was just a complete and total train wreck of a human. And then the song kind of walks us through, it kind of walks through my experiencing dysphoria and not really knowing that that's what I was experiencing, and just being mad and being angry at the world and angry at myself and self-destructive, and not really knowing why,
Wow. So the drinking and the drugging and the self-harm, that was you that in real life.
That's all real. Yeah. That's all me. That's straight up. Like every single one of those things is very real. I'm actually trying to pull up I have a Google Doc.
We have Google Docs. Now this is my other question. Now when did the light bulb go off when you were like, oh, this is why I was hurting myself, and this is why? When did that go off?
Not until December of 2018. I was on tour with Leftover Crack, and I had been browsing a subreddit that I stumbled across. The subreddit is called Egg IRL, egg_IRL, like egg, like the food, EGG, _IRL. And it's just dysphoria memes. That's all it is. It's just a nonstop barrage of dysphoria memes. And I was scrolling through it for some time, for weeks, honestly. But I remember like there was one night in particular where I scrolled through that subreddit for probably 2 hours, relating to every single thing that I saw. Yeah. Every single one. And I was like, that's really bizarre. And then I went to sleep on my bunk. And I woke up, I'll never forget, in front of 1904 Music Hall in Jacksonville, Florida. And I woke up in a full-blown panic with the words, "Oh fuck, I'm trans," in my head. Just, that's it. It was just that thought. And it was just like, and then immediately followed by like, no, for about the next year of my life. But yeah, I mean, I'll never forget where I was, what that memory smelled like, what it looks like. Like that was easily the most emotionally intense moment of my life, was just waking up with that thought in my head and realizing it was real and knowing that it was real.
Yeah.
And then just the intense fear that followed that, of holy shit, well, what the fuck do I do now?
Right.
What do I do now with that information? Like, what do I do?
Well, you're doing it.
Yeah. Well, and luckily we're here, and it took some time to really make that happen. But I can see that there's a sunbeam just on my chin that's going to make this look hilarious. So let me just scoot back a little bit. No more sunbeam. Let's go.
Or just get in the sun. Illuminate.
That's fine. I mean, if you want we could have a triangle on my chin. It's very 90s. Have just one weirdly shaped triangle just on your face.
It's like a Collective Soul music video.
Yes. That's right.
Or something.
But yeah, that's the moment. I'll never forget it.
That's really powerful. And so after that, it just became kind of like a slow it was a slow process of just acceptance?
Yeah, I mean, it's back and forth. You know, it's like with any realization that big, right? Like with any realization about yourself that's that big and that scary, there's going to be denial. You know, there's going to be moments. There's going to be, you know, weeks or months even where you go, well, maybe not. You know, but it's when those thoughts keep coming back over and over and stronger and bigger. You know, then eventually you get to a point where you go, yeah, I don't think this is going away.
Right.
You know, and it took, you know, years to get there, but, you know, it was really around the time that my relationship was ending. And, you know, I went to play MagFest with Skatune Network, and it was like the relationship falling apart, the hanging out with like a bunch of queer nerds all weekend.
Yeah.
Like that was truly like the 3-day span of my life where I went, no, this is it. This is where I belong. This is where I'm supposed to be. This is who I am. Like, you know, there was from that moment forward, there was no more doubt. And from that weekend.
And you were there doing the Steven Universe live performance with Skatune Network, correct?
No, that was actually a couple months before. This was actually just a Skatune Network regular set at MagFest.
Oh, okay,
we just did. It was like, you know, TV show theme songs, video game music, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, I know MagFest. I have some nerds in a band called Psychostick, and there's a band called Urizen.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a band called Urizen that they like have giant robots, and they play MagFest every year. So
that sounds like a MagFest fan for sure. Yeah.
Oh, nerds! Yay! So wow. Okay. So I wrote down a bunch of questions because I kind of want to do lightning round. And we could go further into this as well. Let me okay. I have an Evernote doc that I just wrote a bunch of keywords. Okay. So
Evernote's fancy.
What's that?
Evernote's fancy. I can never get it to work.
It's sometimes it wants to know my location. I'm like, why does a notes app need to know my location? I don't understand. But okay. I wrote some words. I wrote memes, TikTok. I wrote peg talk. I wrote LA. I wrote depression. I wrote ska fin. Let's
okay.
Where were we at?
We had just talked. I believe we had just talked about. We'd gone through the lyrics of Morbid Obsessions. We talked a little bit about the light bulb moment.
Correct.
When I realized I was trans, and I think we got through that, answering that question.
Okay, I'm listening now. I'm listening to.
I don't think.
What were you gonna say?
No, you're good. You're good. Go ahead.
This is going swimmingly. Sorry, I'm hallucinating. Like I said, I'm hallucinating right now.
You and me both. We're both tangent people.
Yes. Oh yeah. So maybe
when we go, we go.
maybe I should just not. No, but I have these questions. I'm like, so is it a is it a deliberate move? Because what I'm noticing about the newer music is it seems almost like there's less of a ska, not a ska, like a heavy, like hardcore kind of punk element to it, and it seems a little more bouncy and like light on its feet. Now it was that purposeful?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We spent a long time, you know, kind of doing this like pop punk hardcore thing. Which is great. You know, I certainly don't regret it. But you know, I think it's important to evolve, and it's important for me, for my art to reflect what I'm actually listening to and what I'm currently enjoying.
Like Charlie
and what
XCX.
I've been listening to lately is pop music. What's that?
Yeah. I said like Charlie XCX.
Exactly. Yes. Like Charlie XCX, like, you know, like Carly Rae Jepsen, all of that. I mean, that's what I listen to on a day-to-day basis, you know? And so it was really important to me to incorporate that sort of pop sensibility into the music. And in addition to that, like, I just fucking love No Doubt. I just fucking love No Doubt. And like, the thing that I love about No Doubt, especially on like Tragic Kingdom, is there are definitely ska songs, right? You got Spiderwebs, ska banger, no doubt about it, right? then you also have like Sunday Morning, and you know, you also have like Just a Girl, and you have like, you know, Excuse Me Mister, all these songs that are like not ska songs. They're very much not.
They're great pop songs.
What's that?
They're great pop songs.
Exactly. And so I kind of wanted to incorporate that idea into what we do and kind of take it more in that direction of like a little bit out of like, it's still very rooted in punk, but a little bit out of like the punk side of things and a little bit more into, the ska and pop side of things, just to find a new flavor. And, the last thing I wanted was to rehash, the way our old record sounded. I wanted to make sure this was a band defining record, not only in terms of subject material, but also sonically and musically.
I love the term sonically.
Love it.
Sonic highways. But because I was noticing, because when I was on Spotify and I was just listening to, and I always want to say Watu. I want to say Watu, Watu. I just want to say Watu. I just want to say it. But what I was noticing in some of the older tracks, and even on Self Care, there's way more of like a punk and a hardcore element. But then like the new songs are just bright and shiny and stand out and very like anthemic. And I don't know. I was listening to Boys Will Be Girls, and when I was driving home from the shit cleaning job today, and I was like getting emotional just because it's so big and anthemic. And what I wanted to ask you about too is I noticed you posted a TikTok and then you posted an Instagram reel where you kind of were like, I guess the question is, did like the newer sound, did it actually receive some backlash from followers of yours in a way where you would feel the need to like address that in a TikTok? Because I mean, did that happen?
Only Boys Will Be Girls, and honestly, the pushback was more about it was more about the fact that the lyrics were like simple, and like, yeah, of course they are. It's a queer version of The Boys Are Back in Town. Have you read the lyrics to The Boys Are Back in Town? There's like 5 words in the fucking song. Like, of course it's simple, like that's I just thought it was so funny. I thought it was so funny that like that people were, and it was a very small minority, very, very small. We're talking like 3 or so comments on YouTube out of like, 150 or 200. But so, negative comments scream a lot louder than positive ones. And I just found it funny. Like I wasn't really hurt or like taken aback by it, but I was like, I expected it's a different sounding record for sure. And like, I'm sure that there are fans of the older stuff who are not that into it. And that's totally okay. Bands evolve and it's totally okay to not evolve with the bands you like. That's okay. And I just thought it was really funny that like this song that was like, was never supposed to be anything more than like a dumb queer anthem was like being criticized for being a dumb queer anthem. I'm like, sounds like I did exactly my stated goal. Sounds like I achieved my stated goal 100%. So like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I just thought it was really funny, Yeah.
And you're just kind of like, well, that's the point and we're here. So enjoy.
Like, what do you want?
I like the comparison to The Boys Are Back in Town. But pop music inherently is simple, but that's what makes it A, anthemic, and B, memorable. And if you want to go poppy, then some of the lyrics might be a little bit simple, but I tell you what, they're earworms. Like a lot of the simplest songs and the simplest melodies are the ones that I heard Morbid Obsessions once, and I heard it on a TikTok where someone Grabmaster Hash's roommate was talking about what's that dude's name? He was talking about how it's a banger, and just from him, just from him talking about it and it playing in the background of the TikTok, it was in my head all day. Yeah. And there's something to be said about simplicity that it's a good song is a good song,
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
I love pop music.
Yeah, pop music is great, and it gets a bad reputation. It gets a bad rap in our community, and I'm like, fucking why? It's good. Also, like, there was a time when like pop music was like spoon fed to us, and it was all we had. But like, there's alternative pop now, like, and I will make the argument, if you want to talk politically,
get into it.
I will make the argument all day that pop music is way more punk rock right now than punk rock is. I will make that argument all fucking day. Like
let's
pop,
get into
pop
it.
music is more, it's more queer. It's got more fucking POC people making it. It's got more fucking representation for literally every fucking person on this planet than punk rock does. And like, don't get me wrong, I love punk rock. I love it. It's my home genre. I will always come home to it in one way or another. But like, it's a lot of white dudes. It's a lot of white dudes, you know, and that's not their fault, but it is true. And it does create sort of like an insular echo chamber, you know, within the scene. And I think it creates a lack of representation that's really a shame. And so, you know, I look at pop music and it's like the polar fucking opposite of that right now. And I'm like, that's great. Let's go. Like, punk rock should take a lesson from pop music.
Agree. I agree 1,000,000%. And so recently I've been doing gigs with the band Reagan Youth as a singer, which is really weird, but they actually gave me
wild.
Yeah, it's wild. It's really wild, especially because like I don't necessarily consider myself an anarchist, but I'm up there like singing about fucking anarchy. But politically and ideologically, actually, I really those lyrics really resonate with me, and I wouldn't join a band and be singing for a band where if what I was saying I didn't believe in, and I really think their message it's anti-hate and it's all love, and it's very like. It's very anti-capitalist, and I'm a poor guy, you know, so I'm with it. But long story short, they gave me access to their socials, and we posted a meme that said, "Hard and fast, punks wear masks," you know, just kind of promoting like, "Hey, wear a mask."
Yeah.
And that shit got so much hate from the white punk rock status quo. It was maddening for days. And it's just like, and so I posted a meme. I just said "Punk is dad," and I posted a guy wearing New Balance shoes. You know, the whole dad setup, New Balance, white tube socks, and the Oakley shades. And when I just said "Punk is dad," and then everyone's like, "Roar!" Like, and you know. It's really weird because like the message of this band is going completely over people's head. They're a bunch of fucking right wingers. Like so many of these people that claim to be punk are fucking. They're right wingers. They're racist. They don't even understand that the music that they love so much and they claim to be such a big part of their life was invented by people of color. Like it all just blows my fucking mind. I could go on for days. But yes, pop music is especially nowadays in the TikTok era is way more representational of marginalized communities, people of color, queers, and it's like, I thought punk was supposed to be this all-inclusive thing, and it's like some of the most conformist shit. And I need to stop talking. I need to stop talking and let you talk. Anything to add?
No, I'm with you. Like it's so frustrating, and it's like, you know, here I thought we were building a community, you know, for everybody, and it turns out like a whole lot of the people who built the community really aren't on board with that. And I'm like, well, then do I really want to fucking hang with that community?
No,
I don't. You know, I'd rather go hang out with fucking pop singers who are like actually doing the work.
Yes.
Right? Like that's who's more punk rock right now?
What's her name? Who's the milady? She's the punk as fuck. Dorian Electra.
Oh yeah,
she's punk. She's punk as fuck. And the video. Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I really like Rebecca Black right now too, which I think is funny. Like,
man.
Like I know. Yes.
No.
Yes.
Oh man, like yes, I'm on the Rebecca Black train. Go ahead.
Her new shit rules. It's good. Like it's actually genuinely good.
And you can tell she's really good. You can tell she's having so much fun. And also what I was saying,
dope. Like it fucking never ends. There's so many cool people in pop music right now. Like
I like this. I like that we're talking about this. It's like a punk rock podcast, and let's just fucking talk punk rock because it's old and it's sad. It makes me sad.
Yeah.
There's a promoter that because my band Downtown Brown, my silly band, is doing shows again because I guess shows are coming back, which blows my fucking mind. And this promoter keeps hitting me up. He's like, "Hey, you're singing for Reagan Youth. Hey, come play my bar." And here's a dude that like worships Social Distortion and hosts some bike night. And turns out that when the Kenosha shootings happened, he was like pro Kyle Rittenhouse, and someone also sent me a screen grab of him saying the N-word hard R. And this is a guy that claims to be punk rock. He said it on his personal Facebook. And he's like, "Come play my bar." And I'm like, okay, but then I just had to hit the block button. No, sorry, fuck off.
Yeah, what can you do? What else can you do? Yeah.
Dude, like Harley Davidson, bike night, Social Distortion, saying the N-word and fucking bootlicking, it doesn't really seem like punk rock to me, man.
It sure doesn't. Like, yeah, and it's like so many people, I think, specifically from that, like who came up in that era of punk rock, missed the memo.
Dads. That
the people that we were holding the middle finger to was the establishment. Like, and now it's like middle finger to everybody indiscriminately. And it's like, well, okay, how about like, instead of a middle finger to people who need a helping hand, maybe we just extend a helping hand to them. Maybe we take a second to like actually listen to what the fucking bands that we came up with were singing about at the time, even if they don't all embody it now. And I think like, it's just so frustrating. It's like, to me, it was always so clear what punk rock was about. And even if the scene didn't really live up to what it was claiming to be, I think there were a lot of people who cared and a lot of people who were trying. And it's so frustrating to see all that work resulting in ignorant bullshit like that, where it's like, why the fuck? Like, there was a time when it was fucking dangerous to be racist at a punk show.
Well, still is in LA.
Yeah, and it depends where you are. But now I see fucking like Facebook groups all the time and fucking Instagram comments on fucking anything punk rock related. I see racist shit all the time, unchecked. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Like, what happened? Where did the whole point of this go? Where did the whole like fuck the authority, look out for each other thing? Where did that go?
It's sad. And the weirdest part about posting this mask meme is if you're supposed to be a part of what's considered a community, but you're so against doing something that could help the community, like, you know what I'm saying? Like wearing a mask helps the community. Are you part of a community, or are you just so fucking hell bent on saying fuck the government that if the government is actually giving good advice, you're gonna just be like, well, that's the government. Fuck them. I'm not wearing a mask. I'm gonna breathe on this old lady.
Yeah, it's like you can not want to pay taxes because you don't want your money to fund military action, and you can also listen to the fucking WHO saying put on a mask. Like, those two things can coexist. Like, you can be anti-government and not be an idiot. It's possible. Like, it's very possible.
It's just absolutely mind-blowing. So the last 5 days, I had to actually give myself a break from the internet, and we can talk about internet comments in a second here, but because like I've been spending the last 5 days trolling MAGA chuds who follow a radically left anarchist peace punk band. Like, what are you doing following this band if you're a fucking right winger? Because it's loud and fast and from the 80s. It's like, are you listening to the lyrics? Yeah. Jesus was a communist.
Yeah, it's like, did you think it was like a we're all Reagan's children and we're happy about it situation? Is that what you thought that the band name was referencing? Like,
well, that's where it gets lost.
We're so happy to come up under Reagan. Like,
I think that's where it gets lost, because the whole point of the band is very tongue in cheek. Like, it's satire, it's saying, and it's saying that the yuppie elite class in the 80s when Reagan came into power, that they might as well start a youth group like the Hitler Youth. That's the whole point of the band. The whole point of the band is saying that you're just like fucking Nazis. Yeah. And then so I posted some lyrics from the band yesterday, and everyone started arguing about how the lyrics to the band that they're following are bullshit. It's like, those are the lyrics. That's the band you're following. Yeah. And anyway.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I would always, honestly, I would see that shit, when I was playing with Leftover Crack too, I would see that shit all the time. on their social media, like just wild shit. And I'm like, where the fuck are these people coming from? Like, where are you coming from? What bizarro world are you listening in? Are you living in that you don't understand that like this is literally what this entire community was supposed to be about? That's what all the songs are about.
My brain hurts.
Where have you been? Yeah, it's bizarre. The mental gymnastics that like right wing punks go through it's unbelievable to me. Like far right punks, I'm like, I don't understand you. Like, I don't understand how you could be like that fucking bigoted and pulling from the same source material that we are. Like, what planet are you from?
I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know what planet I'm on anymore. This is all some surreal. Speaking of surreal dreams. Okay, so you grew up in Ann Arbor, Michigan, correct? And then when did you make it out to LA? Like, what was the driving force? Because I did an LA thing, and then I came back because the pandemic happened, and I got laid off, and I had no money, and my mom is older, and I miss her, yada yada. But like, what was your I need to go out west moment for you?
It was cold. That's literally it. It was fucking cold. It was, the year that I decided to move was the year that it was. Do you remember when it hit -40 in Michigan? Were you still in Michigan at that time?
What year was that?
It hit. It must have been 2012.
I was
like
in
December
Michigan.
of 2012, maybe like beginning of 2013.
I remember thinking the Mayan calendar was going to actually happen. I remember my partner at the time. I'm like, can you stay with me tonight? Because if the world actually ends, I want to be with you.
That's right. Yeah, it hit -40. I think it was February 2013. It hit -40.
Wow.
For the first time ever in recorded history in Southeast Michigan. And I was like, I don't know if this is ever going to happen again. Climate change leads me to believe that it probably will. I don't want to be here if that ever happens again. And it's funny. I actually moved to LA to quit music.
Oh, wow.
I was done. Yeah, I was done. I was over it. Yeah. So I moved to LA for the opposite reason that everybody moves to LA.
That's lovely. So tell me, how did you get back into it? If you went there to quit and now look at you go.
Well, I met John Graber, who produced Ordinary Life. I met John through some mutual friends, and we started making music together. And it was just like, we became like this immediately. And then it was like every fucking project that either of us was on, we were bringing the other person in on. And then we started working together. We started recording bands together. We started mixing together, engineering together, everything. And like, yeah, it's really become in hindsight, like meeting him has become like probably the most important career-wise, the most important thing that ever happened to me. I mean, he pulled me out of the depths of restaurant management and was like, you're fucking miserable. You're so miserable. Like, why are you doing this to yourself? You don't want to be here. You want to be making music. There is work. Like, I can hire you as an assistant on this, and this. Like, I can't promise, what it's going to look like in 6 months, but like, we got work right now. Like, let's just fucking go. Take the leap. Let's go. And I did. And the rest is history. I haven't worked a day job since then. There's one summer where I worked a production gig. That's it. Other than that, it's just been all music, whether it's, for a while I was tour managing, for a while I was working as a booking agent, but it's like, it's all been music. And for the last year and 4 months, it's been completely music. That's it. Well, it's mostly been mixing because of the pandemic, but yeah.
Well,
that's it.
You made it.
Accidentally. Yep. Against my greatest wishes, I made it. I'm very happy. I'm very happy with it. I'm so lucky and so fortunate. But yeah, I just think it's funny that like this isn't what I wanted. It is what I wanted.
Right.
It's not what I intended.
Right.
But it's absolutely what I wanted.
Now, this gentleman, is that the person you are in the studio all the time with? I see on Instagram you're like always in the studio. That's your ride or die.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we work on just about everything together, except he's working on a record right now that I am not for reasons, and my own reasons.
Reasons.
And reasons we can get into another time off air. But I'm very happy for him. Very, very happy for him. It's a huge opportunity for him. And I'm very happy that he's like great moves in his career. We do just about everything else together. All the other projects we do. We actually just recorded drums for an Omnigone song the other day.
Excellent.
And it's great. I love working with John. He's one of the most talented mix engineers, one of the most talented producers that I know. And mark my words, I fully believe that in 10 years he will be looked at how we look at Jerry Finn now.
Nice.
That's a bold statement, but I mean every word of it. Like he is going to be a powerhouse producer, 100%.
Well,
listen to Ordinary Life. Like he produced the shit out of that record. You know, I stand by every single creative decision made on that record, and it is what it is musically because of him pushing us to do better and how. I mean, he co-wrote on some of the songs. I mean, he is such an integral part of that record, and I think it speaks for itself. And it really, truly, I think that with everything that he's doing and the bands that he's working with and the projects that he's on right now, like I truly think in 10 years, people are going to be looking back at Jay Graves like, oh shit, that's a powerhouse, you know, which is exciting.
That is exciting. Now, when you started doing stuff with him, is that what kind of led into some of like the hired gun things that I saw you doing on Instagram, or did you fall into that on accident as well? Like doing stuff with Goldfinger, Leftover Crack, yada, yada.
Totally unrelated. Yeah,
of course.
That all happened through. So Leftover Crack happened literally because Brent, the drummer of We Are the Union, is buds with some of those guys, and I guess they had somebody quit. They had to fill in back out of some shows in let's see, Pomona, San Diego, and then it's closed now, but. Oh, I can't remember the name of it. There was this cool, like, Marty's, maybe? Is that what it was called? There was this cool little, like, 200 cap dive bar. So I played 3 shows with that band. Basically, they texted my friend, like, we have these 3 shows. Do you have anybody who'd want to try out? Actually, John Graber and I competed for that gig. We both tried out for it, literally back to back. Literally back to back. John tried out, and then I tried out, which I thought was very funny. And but yeah, they ended up hiring me to do those 3 shows, and then the rest is history. We played together for about a year and a half after that, and then with Goldfinger, I was tour managing the band at the time. This was February of 2019. Yeah, February of 2019. I was tour managing the band. We were going to Australia. And the guitar player couldn't make it. Phil couldn't make it. And we got a fill-in Chris Chaney, who's like one of the best fucking guitar players alive today. He's incredible. He plays in the Living End. He is an absolute ripper. But he couldn't make Perth. He couldn't make the first show. And so Feldman was like freaking out. He's like, fuck, can we fly somebody in from the States for one show? I'm like, I'm not going to put somebody on a plane for 20 hours each way to play one show. That's wild. Like, we'll find somebody local. And then Tom, my boss at the time, was like, do you want to do it? I was like, I mean, yeah, I know the set already. And he's like, yeah, I know you do. Of course you do. And so he was like, all right, I'm going to make it happen. And he literally called Feldy, and he was like, Reade's going to play the Perth show. Feldy was like, what? He's like, yeah, Reade's going to play the Perth show. He's literally on tour with Leftover Crack right now, not tour managing, as the guitar player. And I guess that was enough to convince John to give me a shot. And literally, like, I was so fucking nervous. We flew all the way to Australia. I was like the most nervous I've ever been. Played the show. I don't remember any of it. I remember playing 99 Red Balloons for like 2 seconds. That's all I remember. The rest is a fucking blur.
It's like an out-of-body experience.
And I got off stage, and I was like, hey, like, John, I really appreciate that opportunity. I know you took a chance. I hope you felt like I brought it. And if there's ever an opportunity, to do that again, I would love to. And he just looks me dead in the eye and goes, there's 100% chance of you doing that again. And then I played the rest of the tour with Chris Chaney. We just had 3 guitars.
That's fucking dope.
And ever since then, you know, even since Charlie came back, I mean, he's always like, put a microphone in your hand, sing backing vocals. Like he's so supportive, and like just seems to love having me around the Goldfinger show, and it makes me so happy. Like, you know, whether I'm depending on who shows up, whether I'm playing guitar or, you know, whether I'm just singing or doing whatever the fuck they need me to do that show. Like it's a really cool position to be in. And I'm so appreciative of Feldy for having me, for wanting me to, you know, scream words into a microphone that I've been screaming in my parents' basement for my whole life. It's pretty fucking rad.
There's something lovely about, you know, the teenage version of yourself and the music that you worshipped, and then being able to rub elbows with those people. And I've had similar moments with the guys in Fishbone, and I've had similar moments with touring with HR from Bad Brains and whatnot. But like, was there any moment that you had where you were just like, this isn't real? Was that Australia show a moment like that? Or
that whole tour, yes. But the moment for me was we played the Roundhouse in Sydney.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say there were, I think it's 3,000 people sold out. It was wall to wall. We were on tour with Millencolin, and wall to wall packed. And we played the set. It was a great set. And then we closed with 99 Red Balloons, because that's the closer.
Yeah.
And it just hit me. I was like, there's 3,000 fucking people here screaming the words to like one of the best punk rock covers in my opinion of all time. It's a great cover. And like, this is a band I've loved my entire life. And I'm literally here with a guitar on, playing guitar and singing the song with like one of my favorite songwriters of all time steps away from me, and one of the best guitar players like in punk rock maybe of all time, like a couple steps closer to me. Like there's just Mike Herrera on bass. I'm like looking around the stage, and like literally every single person on this stage like is an incredibly talented musician. And like I was like, I'm fucking here right now. Like this is real. Like it was such a surreal, incredible moment. And like that was like, yeah, that was just such a rad tour. And like, man, I love the current lineup of Goldfinger. Even, you know, now even more so now that Charlie's back in the picture. Like, I think everybody's so great. I just love it. It's such a great iteration of the band, like having Charlie back, but also having Phil Moon, like also having like Nick on drums, shredding it, also having Mike fucking Herrera on bass. Like, and like, even the horn section rotating as it is, like it'll be, sometimes it's like Scott Kloffenstein, you know, sometimes it's like Matt Appleton, like all these people who play for the powerhouse ska bands. It's so cool that like Goldfinger is kind of this fluid entity, right? Where like sometimes somebody can't make it and there's like a surprise, you know, whether it's me or somebody else. Like it's so cool that the band is like a little bit fluid, but has this cool core lineup that's like fucking undeniable rock stars in their way. It's just so cool. I love it. Whether or not I ever work with that band again, I highly encourage everyone to go fucking see a Goldfinger show when they come back, because like, holy shit, the current lineup is so good. I'm going to catch some flack for this, but I think they're the best they've ever been.
And not only that, but you're literally, when you were on stage, you're surrounded by people that help cultivate you as a human being. You know, they're like, when I'm around some of these people, I'm like, this is like Norwood Fisher of Fishbone, the bass player of Fishbone. I look at him like Obi-Wan fucking Kenobi, and I'm like, this dude calls me and we talk politics, and we talk about my dog shit cleaning fucking part-time day job that I'm doing to get by because I'm broke right now. And it's just, it's like, dude, you have no idea the immense amount of respect I have for you. And even if you tell them it, you can't even illustrate it with words. Just be like, hey, like if you didn't exist, I wouldn't be me. Like you made me. In a way.
It's been a wild few years for that for me. And I'm like, where do we go from here?
What a blessing.
Yeah. It's incredible. I feel like the luckiest person alive. Like, how did I get here?
You seem, and I know we don't talk all the time, and I know we just like sort of know each other through the internet and whatnot, but you seem genuinely happy, and that makes me happy. And I just want to say that that's the vibe you're giving off. You're like literally fucking glowing these days.
Yeah. And I'm trying. The biggest thing to coming off that way for me was changing my entire outlook to be gratitude based. The second I started appreciating what I have and the people that I have around me, the second that I actually took a step back and started appreciating that instead of focusing on like what I'm upset about, which like I still fail sometimes, believe me, like, especially like, with the pressure, everything going on with like the album release and all that. Like I definitely am not perfect. I don't mean to come off like, look at my great advice that I follow all the time. But like the second that I changed my mentality to focus more on like gratitude, everything changed for me. Everything changed for me mentally, career-wise, like socially, everything. Like my entire life changed just from the simple change of looking around and going, wow, there's cool shit happening all around me and cool people around me.
Can I show you something?
Yes.
All right, well, hold on 1 second. I got to grab it. It's right here, actually. It's very close. 1 sec.
Okay.
So I have a therapist, and my therapist, can you see this camera?
Yes, I can. That's so good. Oh, I love that.
Okay, so check it out. I have this therapist, and she is an Eastern European woman and she's so elderly. She's probably almost 90 years old. And I don't even know how I found her, but when my dad died, she literally changed my life. She walked me through the grieving process of losing someone that I considered to be my like Darth Vader. I hated his guts. I always told myself that when he died that I wouldn't care, that fuck him. But I realized that like kind of like how you were saying that you realized that so much of the pain you were causing yourself was from, it had a source. And at one moment it flickered and you were like, oh, this is the source. This is what's ailing me. And that was my father. My father never supported, like, I could go into it. Everyone on this podcast listens to me talking about my dad, daddy. But anyway, this is her mantra for me is to vibrate higher. You have to be grateful and you have to concentrate on gratitude and love. And I'm so glad that to hear that's was what changed in your life, because I remember I would go on tour with my band and I would just poo everything. I'd be like, oh, there's not this in the green room. We deserve a bigger guarantee. I wish more people liked us. And instead I should have been looking around and been like, I'm with my best friends. I'm doing the thing I wanted to do since I fucking first heard like Axl Rose in 1988 or whatever. Like I'm doing it. But instead of really taking it in and being grateful, be like, hey, I'm on tour. I'm doing the thing I love and I'm surviving with it. I just was like, meh. But now it's, especially with COVID, so much more clear to me that everything, even if it didn't work out the way I wanted it to, like, I'm so fucking lucky. And to hear you say that and also to see like your TikToks and you on your social media, be like, I'm just blown away. I'm fucking blown away. That resonates with me, being a human being that is trying to grasp onto the same similar gratitude with what's going well in my existence. You know what I'm saying? So I just appreciate that. I appreciate that you're grateful.
Yeah. I think grateful people are the people I think who make the biggest change, because you're able to see the value in everyone around you. And change comes from community, not from individuals. And that's like my biggest thing is progress and change, whether it's literally in any context, whether it's political, whether it's creative, whether it's social, whatever the fuck it is, it comes from lifting up the people around you, not from like trying to push other people down and wondering, why don't I have what they have?
Or competing,
Yeah.
Like
it's not a competition.
I used to want to compete, and it's like why?
Yeah,
there's no point. What are you gonna win?
Yeah, you're gonna win a lot of frustration for yourself. Is where you're gonna win, and the second you can change, I started, instead of looking around at musicians that I was jealous of. Instead of looking around at them, I started looking at the graph of my career and of my life. And looking back, and when you look at it like that, you can see so clearly your hard work paying off. You know, even if maybe it's not as fast as you want, maybe it's not in the exact right direction that you want, right? And that's okay, that's valid, right? So it's valid to want, but it's so important to look back and go, holy shit, I've done incredible stuff. You know, I'm so lucky to have had this opportunity, and take that moment to not only like appreciate the opportunity for what it is, but also to appreciate yourself. Like a little self-love goes a long way. And to look back at your accomplishments and feel proud is something that I think takes work. Like we just expect to like be proud one day, and it's like, no, you actually have to go back and look and examine your life and go, like, really think critically and start to go, I'm making progress. I'm making steps. And like, it might not feel like it all the time, but if I look at the trajectory, I'm doing it, right? I might stumble here and there. You know, I might run into hiccups. In fact, I'm going to, but as long as I keep, you know, the phrase I always use is, you know, the next right thing in front of you, right? Like, you know, a borrowed phrase for sure, but like, that's my whole mentality. Let's just find the next thing you can do and just do it. Do it. Don't think about it. And if you do that, you're going to look back in a year and you're going to be like, holy shit, I did so much, you know? And who cares? You know, if you don't get exactly where you landed, like my full philosophy is like, you might not get exactly where you were intending to go, but you're going to get somewhere.
Yeah. And I just remember having these colossal expectations and being like, I'm going to go out to LA and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. Yeah. And instead of like, really, dude, I had a fucking crazy adventure. I was like living in my van. I made a bunch of terrible decisions. I fucked a lot of shit up, but a lot of shit was just amazingly great. Like opening for the Addicts at the House of Blues, shit like that. It's just like, I'm here. And yeah, but instead, you know, I'm when you just sit around poo-pooing, it's like, oh, I thought it was going to be this. But you could think it's going to be this. You could think it's going to be that, but it's going to be what it is. So just go. Like you were saying, just go.
Just go. All you have is your reaction to a situation. That's all you got.
It sounds like you have a really good therapist.
I do have a really good therapist. I also, I spend a lot of time around sober people talking about sobriety, even though I am not sober myself. And so not only do I have a great therapist, but I also have access to what I would consider one of the best modern philosophies. And I literally combine those two things, and it just makes me so just like, I'm able to just be here.
What's the best modern philosophy? What we're talking about currently?
Yeah. Okay. In general. And also like the idea of like doing the next right thing in front of you. It's so simple. Like I literally, that is like, when I said that's a borrowed phrase, it's borrowed from conversations that I've had with sober friends who are in the program, who like, literally that's a thing that they say all the time. And I was like, I fucking love that. I'm going to incorporate that in my own life. And I think everyone should. Like, I think there's so much wisdom. There's so much wisdom there that I think is like incredibly inspiring. And I love sitting back and learning from other people's experiences and from other people's wisdom. And like, yeah, one of the greatest gifts in my life is having a great therapist and having a handful of sober friends who were willing to talk to me about their experiences. And like, it opened my eyes so much to like how I can live my life better, not only as a better friend and a better partner and a better like coworker or whatever, but also just like as a better like lover of myself. Like that's really hard.
It's the
really
hardest.
Hard. Society tells us to hate ourselves. Media tells us to hate ourselves. But like the best thing you can do is just not let them win. Find whatever it is. Find whatever your personal philosophy is that wards off those fucking thoughts and just repeat it over and over again until you start to feel growth. I love it. It's like my favorite thing to do is grow as a human. My favorite thing to do.
I really appreciate all of this because I mean, like I said, the last podcast I did last week, I take little nuggets when I talk to human beings, and it seems like every time I do this fucking thing, there's more nuggets that I get to pick up and kind of roll with. And because I stopped drinking in 2008, I haven't had a drop of alcohol since '08, but I never was in the program, so I don't know any of the sayings. I don't know any of the philosophies. But I just know that if I continued to drink, I would be dead. That's all I know. And a lot of it stems from self-hatred because my daddy never loved me. And that's the hardest thing I have, because I look in the mirror, I'm like, I'm not pretty enough. I'm not skinny enough. I'm not this enough. I look at my career, I'm like, I didn't do this enough. I didn't do this enough. But it's getting to the point where it's just like, you did and you are. And but it's hard. Like you're saying, it's fucking work. It's a lot of work to love yourself.
Work. Loving yourself is work. It's a full-time fucking job.
I'm bad at it.
And you know what? And I am too some days, you know. I think like that's the thing, but the thing is like it's work. And as long as you can recognize that and put in the work on a day-to-day basis as much as you can, that's all you can really ask of yourself. You know, everybody's doing the best they can, right? Like we're all doing the best we can. That's it.
I'm just trying to live.
That's all we can do. That's all we have. It's just like the ability to do the best we can in a given situation. And sometimes that's not much, and sometimes it's a whole lot. And both of those are totally okay. They're totally okay. I resent so much like American culture for like beating the idea into our heads that like we have to like hate ourselves to be successful or like to be happy. And like, I just resent it so much because it's bullshit. It's bullshit.
And you have to learn by growing older and realizing that all that shit was a lie, you know? And that's the craziest part about it for me, is because I was, you know, when I was a little guy and growing up and being in elementary school and just being told by the other kids that I'm fat, that I'm fucking a nerd, that I'm this, that I'm that. And it's like, well, who the fuck cares if I'm this and that? Like, eat my fuck, you know?
Yeah.
And it ruins you, because you end up carrying that into your adulthood. You end up like just, you know, being like, oh, and you don't even realize you're doing it. You know, it's all societal, and you're just like, oh, well, I'm going into adulthood like having a completely fucked up perception of who I am, and I'm really hard on myself because of it. That's whack.
Yeah. I do the same shit. I'm super hard on myself sometimes for no reason, and it's like, why? And I literally have to take a breath and be like, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. I'm being so hard on myself for no reason. I need to just do the thing. Take a breath, do the thing.
Do the thing, baby. Someone told me last week, they're like, you don't need to be hard on yourself because the world is going to be hard on you. Don't help it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
How much you probably got to go pretty soon here?
I do. I gotta bounce shortly.
Okay. What I want you to do is plug the new record that I biffed the fucking name of because I'm stupid and I apologize. Good. And
you're wonderful.
You're wonderful. I'm very proud of you. I'm very inspired by this conversation, and I hope it didn't come off too disjointed. My brain is melted. It's been a long day.
No. But it's great. I love I love any opportunity to ramble about the bullshit that rattles around inside my head. And so thank you for having me. But the record is called Ordinary Life by my band, We Are the Union. It is out June 4th. I don't know if this will air before then or after. If it's not June 4th yet, you got to wait. If it's after June 4th, good news. It's already out. Did you say something? Sorry.
No, I said before. Most likely.
It'll be before. Okay. Wonderful. Well, it comes out June 4th on Bad Time Records. And it's been an incredible journey so far. And we've only released 3 songs. I can't wait to hear. I can't wait to for everybody to hear the whole record. I'm so excited and so grateful that I got to make a record and people get to hear it. And some people seem to like it. And I get to come on the internet and hang out with my friends and talk about bullshit. I love it. So thank you for having me. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Do this again.
Anytime. Yeah. I'm getting back into it. I'm getting back on the horse. I want to make stuff. I want to go places. I want to hug people. I want to do things, you know?
Yeah.
So
love it.
So Reade, Love it. Love you. Thank you. Proud of you. When I listen back is when I really digest all this, because during the recording process is when I'm just like, blah, 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 blah. But I can't wait to listen back and grab some of them nuggets and run as fast.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I love it. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah. You want to hit the button?
Yep. I'll hit it.
Hit the button. Bye.
Peace out.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Woo.